Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. Corwin wins the die roll and starts us off. He draws and plays a snow-covered plains. Jazz, who's new to the channel, draws, plays a swamp, and passes. Charles just draws and plays an island. Fred's got an underground river and passes to Corwin. Corwin's turn has him playing Urza's Mind and passing. Jazz draws, plays a swamp, and casts a Vengeful Blood Witch. He makes a vampire token from Edgar's Eminence ability and passes. Charles plays a mountain and casts Izzet Signet. Fred's got a command tower and pays 2 for Swiftfoot Boots. Corwin's land for turn is a Strip Mine, and he then casts Mana Web. Jazz draws, plays a swamp, and pays 2 for a Jet Medallion. He then casts Deadly Dispute, sacrificing the vampire token. This triggers the Vengeful Blood Witch, and he drains Fred for 1. He then draws his 2 and passes. Charles plays a Reliquary Tower, and then casts Lore Broker. Fred's got a swamp, and pays 2 for Norman Osborn. He then pays the equip cost for the Swiftfoot Boots, and goes to combat. He swings him at Jazz, who takes the 1, and Norman gets to Connive. This has Fred drawing and then discarding Lord Xander. He puts a counter onto Norman and passes. Corwin's main phase has Blitzball coming in. And he then plays a Grimclimb Pathway. He follows it up with Rito Lantern, and ships it after that. Jazz has got a swamp, and he casts Magus of the Coffers. But Charles counters it with an Arcane Denial in response. With nothing else, Jazz passes. Charles draws 1 from Arcane Denial, and Jazz draws 2 from the upkeep, and then Charles draws for turn. He casts Ian Malcolm, and then plays a command tower, and passes. Fred's main phase has him casting Dark Ritual, and uses the mana to help transform Norman Osborn. He then plays Sokenzan, and passes. During the end step, Charles activates Lore Broker to make everyone loot a card. This triggers Ian Malcolm for Fred, and Fred exiles a Polluted Delta. Corwin plays a Snow-Covered Plains, and casts Clarion Conqueror. With it on the stack, he floats a mana off the Blitzball, and then casts Timely Ward on the Conqueror. This has Charles responding with an Offer You Can't Refuse to counter it. The spell is then countered with Corwin getting the treasures, and he passes after that. Jazz draws and plays a command tower, and then casts Vampire of the Dire Moon. This gets him a vampire token from the Edgar Markov Eminence ability, and he follows up with a Black Market, passing once it resolves. Charles displays a mountain, and casts Baylor and passes. Fred's got a Bloodstained Mire, cracking it and losing 1, to lose 2 more as an untapped Steam Vents comes in. He then casts Reanimate on Lord Xander, which has him losing even more life. And as Lord Xander comes in, targets Charles with the trigger. Fred then casts Will of the Jeskai, and everyone but Jazz discards their hand and draws 5. Which has Ian Malcolm triggering and exiling a card off the top from each of them. Going to combat, Fred then hits Corwin for 4 with the Green Goblin and passes. Corwin has a command tower for turn and casts Squall. He then plays Trailblazer's Boots and swings a Clarion Conqueror at Fred. Since it's attacking alone, Squall gives it double strike and Fred takes the hit for 6. With nothing else, Corwin passes. Jazz draws and plays a swamp, and then casts Animate Dead to bring back the Magus of the Coffers. He follows it up with Markov Baron, getting another vampire token, and then casts a Demonic Tutor, going to find a card to put to hand. He ships it after that. Charles draws and plays a Sulphur Falls, and casts a Time Reversal. This has everyone shuffling their hands and graveyard into their library, and then drawing 7. This has Ian Malcolm also triggering and exiling a card off the top of everyone's library as well. Charles then swings Baylor at Corwin, and makes Fred draw 3 and discard 3. He has Corwin sacrificing a non-token artifact, and he has Jazz take the damage equals the number of cards in his hand. Fred's got a mountain and casts an untimely malfunction on the mana web. He then moves the Swiftfoot Boots onto Lord Xander, sending him at Corwin. This has Corwin milling half of his library. Fred then casts his redrawn Dark Ritual to use the mana for Necromancy, and he steals Corwin's Dothy Voidwalker. After that, he passes turn. Corwin plays a snow-covered swamp and casts Savine's Reclamation, bringing back Unquestioned Authority, which he enchants onto Squall and draws a card as it comes in. He then follows up with Boromir. Going to combat, Squall goes at Charles, and gives himself double strike for attacking alone. This is Charles taking a total of 6, and Corwin gets to bring back Grasp of Fate and Mana Web. The Grasp of Fate targets Animate Dead, Baylor, and Necromancy, and takes out 3 creatures as a result. Corwin's second main phase then has him casting Zac Fair, and he passes. Jas draws, plays a swamp, and casts Deadly Dispute with his black market mana, sacrificing the Markov Baron. This has Charles getting drained for 1 from the Vengeful Blood Witch, and Jas exiles a swamp to Ian Malcolm's trigger. He then casts a Skull Clamp, and then a Phyrexian Arena, and then Fraying Omnipotence. This has everyone losing half their life, cards in hand, and creatures. With the Clarion Conqueror gone, Jas then clamps his Blood Witch to draw 2 more. He continues by casting a Gas Guzzler, getting an Edgar Markov trigger, and making a 1/1 vampire token. Charles draws and casts Vision Skeins, with everyone drawing 2 and exiling a card to Ian Malcolm's ability. Jas exiles a Demonic Tutor, which Charles is happy to cast. He then casts Solemn Simulacrum from Fred's exile as well. He goes to find a land as it comes in, and after that, Charles hits Fred for 2 with Ian Malcolm and passes. Fred draws and casts Sir Conrad in his main phase. He's then really happy to swing Lord Xander at Charles, and makes Jas mill half his library. Jas in turn hits 15 creatures, which has Sir Conrad triggering enough to take out Corwin and Jas. Charles in turn chumps with the Solemn Simulacrum, which as it gets taken out, takes 1 more from Sir Conrad. After that, Fred casts Sword of the Animist and passes. And Charles also gets back the Baylor with the Grasp of Fate being gone. Charles draws, but with the Baylor unable to take out Fred in 1 swing, decides to pass. Fred draws and casts Thirst for Knowledge, but Charles responds with Counterspell. Fred need only swing Lord Xander at Charles, and without a way to stop the mill, Charles knows when he's beat and scoops it up. Game review time. So Corwin's Squall deck is probably one of the stacksiest decks I've had on the channel in a long time. With stuff like Mana Webs and that Clarion Conqueror, it was really shutting down everyone's plans and forcing them to play very honestly, which is kind of cool to see. Jas was playing a mono-black Edgar Markov deck, similar to how Corwin plays a mono-red Ur-Dragon. There were obviously multicolored lands in the deck, mostly rainbow lands, to allow him to eventually cast Edgar Markov, but otherwise the bread and butter of the deck was all black vampires. Charles's Ian Malcolm deck certainly added an element of chaos to it, and Fred, despite the fact that he actually had his commander out as one of the earliest plays in the game, didn't really use him all that much. I'd say the strongest card for the game was probably Lord Xander, as it had such a massive effect. Yes, Sir Conrad did help him finish it out, but I think Lord Xander having stuck around for so long and starting to get some swings in would have been really, really brutal for everyone else. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.